Hello, everyone, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Youth Have a Voice podcast, season 2. My name is Feolami Joseph. I am the host of this podcast, and I'm really excited to be here with you all today. I am joined by a guest. His name is Pech Lim Gatluak from South Sudan, and I am going to be reading out his bio. Pech Lim Gatluak is a social entrepreneur, youth advocate, and refugee leader, enhancing innovation, employment, and peace building across East Africa. With a background in forced displacement and passion for inclusive development, PET empowers marginalized youth through technology, leadership, and entrepreneurship. He is the founder of Reach and the co-founder of Open Cycle Africa, and he is currently pursuing a software engineering bachelor's degree at the United States International University Africa, USIUA, Nairobi, Kenya. Pech is the founder and CEO of Refugee Employment Accelerator and Career Hub, an initiative designed to reduce refugee youth unemployment by equipping them with digital skills, entrepreneurs' mindsets, career pathways, and job placements. This year, Reach was able to receive seed funding from the Ubuntu Lab Institute in partnership with the MasterCard Foundation, and Reach serves as a physical hub and digital platform connecting youth and women with learning, mentorship, and leadership opportunities. Within this first year, Reach has been able to reach over 200 youth. Patch is also the co-founder of Open Cycle Africa, which he launched in 2023, which supports refugee youth and women through training in entrepreneurship, sustainable farming, and leadership. So far, Open Cycle Africa has trained more than 250 individuals in leadership and entrepreneurship. And in 2020, Patch also co-founded Youth Action for Community Transformation, YACOT Uganda, currently a national organization promoting peace building, gender equality, and economic empowerment. Under his leadership, YACOT has impacted and reached over 10,000 refugees and members of the host community in Rhino Camp Refugee Settlements, Uganda, through programs in education, conflict resolution, and youth engagement. This is through sports tournaments, debates, and community policy programs. Wow, Pet, you have such a very impressive bio. I'm really inspired reading everything you've been doing. I actually met Pet for the first time because Pet used to work with me. We used to work together at my organization. So that was the first time I met Pet. And then I realized that he also has so many programs and initiatives he's also working on. Pet, thank you so much for joining me today. How are you doing?
Yeah, thanks so much, Polani, for having me today. I'm doing well. Yeah, I'm
Thank
glad
you.
to be on your. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so excited for today's episode. I mean, it's been a while since we got to work together. Pet left us to continue his own work, and I'm really proud of him, and I'm just so excited for the amazing things that he's been able to accomplish. And I'm sure today we're going to be learning more about Pet and all the awesome work he's doing. So the first question I'll be asking today is, I would love to know more about your background. What was it like growing up in your home country, and then eventually when you were able to move? Would you like to share a bit more about your background as a refugee, and then why you decided to start all the initiatives or a lot of the initiatives that you currently work on?
Yeah, thank you so much, Polani, for the brilliant question. Yeah, I came to Uganda 17 years ago, and that when we came to Rhino Camp Resettlement with my mom. So the first time we were in Uganda, we really felt like we're in the wrong. We really feel that feeling that you are really in the wrong place because we are used to our homeland, and being a refugee it means also facing a lot of challenges, like you will see as limited access to education, healthcare, and other challenges. And we've been seeing this throughout the years we have been in the camp. Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing, Pet. I think that you're doing such an amazing work at your age and being able to be resilient and even to inspire so many people because you have quite a following on different social media platforms. A lot of people look up to you, and you've just been able to create a better story for other people, which is extremely inspiring. And would you like to share what were some of the earliest challenges or experiences that have shaped how you kind of see the world today?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, there are a lot of challenges that we have really experienced as being a refugee in Uganda. You know, we have been well, I remember when I started my nursery school. So I was we could walk a distance of 5 kilometers for us to access education, and also we are in that community. We are more than by then we are more than 30,000. We share like 4 boreholes only, and you see if you are 30,000 and you're sharing those boreholes, then it makes us also to some of us to go and fetch water in the river so that you drink, because borehole by then were not enough. Yeah, so we have been facing such challenges in education, in also in health. You'll see when you are sick, getting medication is not easy in the health center. You realize drugs are not there over time because of the population. So, and what I've seen, you see young people dying, even a lot of people. Like seeing I was in the camp, we have lost so many people as of these substances because they are not there. Yeah, so those are the challenges that I've been seeing. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that story, Pet. I'm sure that it must have been really hard, growing up in that kind of environment, but I just really appreciate and I'm really proud of how you've been able to carve such an impactful program and initiatives that are able to empower other young people. And before I move on to my next question, I know you mentioned speaking about the education system. And that kind of led to a lot of the initiatives and programs you currently do. So, when did the first idea for your project come about? And when did you decide that you want to work in this space to empower other young people so that they can also have better opportunities, even as refugees?
Yeah, no, when we're in the camp for the Rhino camp, well, no, okay, the first time we came to Uganda, we reached to a camp called Imbefi Refugee Settlement, and in that camp, the population was very large by then, and because of that conflict, we came from that conflict area. You know that there's that kind of hatred because these people that were the one who killed maybe your uncle or this people. So there was that hatred among people. Then I've been observing it when I was still young, and I saw it's really something not good, and it will not take the side far. So that when I finished my high school in 2019, and I say, why can't I do something for my community? Because if young people live each and every time, they fight in football ground, they also fight in TB halls, they fight in water point, in marketplaces. So why can't I also be part of this transformation? After when I see some of the youth that also were with us, they also did say a certain thing. One, so they also try to change lives in their clusters, because you'll see we are divided into clusters, and those villages, they're called clusters there. Yeah. So that's how I started involving myself in community service. And I also see, because I see that without me participating in change, it will really be very hard for us to acquire the change that we want. Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing, Petch. And now you are in Uganda or Kenya? Which country are you in at the moment?
I'm in Kenya currently.
You're in Kenya. Okay.
Yes.
So you live in East Africa now, and
I,
you now
I, I live
currently.
in Uganda. I live in Uganda, but currently
Okay.
I'm in Kenya. I just came to study. I always go there during
Okay.
holidays. All of my initiatives are in the refugee camp.
Oh, okay. So the
Yeah.
refugee camp in
Mm.
Uganda.
Yeah. One of
Yes.
the camp in Uganda called Rhino Camp Refugee Settlement. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay. All right. So all your initiatives actually stem from Uganda, and I know currently in East Africa. What would you say some of the biggest challenges young people face when it comes to education and employment, especially when it comes to youth from displaced communities and they're just really trying to build up their own communities again? What would you say some of the biggest challenges have been so far?
Yeah. Being a refugee, you'll face a lot of challenges in terms of education, care, in terms of even getting good water and other opportunities. They are very limited in. So you will see that is a daily challenges that exist there. I myself have been also experiencing the same. So when I wanted to go to school, you'll see the school are not there. Even I've been at home for some years. or until I got the scholarship with the Mastercard Foundation. But there are many other young people that are outside there that also experience the same. Some don't get, like, I remember when we started high school in 2014. So it was, we are many that, okay, let me start from 2013 when I finished my primary school. So those, uh, those that finished with me were a bit many, but at the end, they were not there. You see, some are just at the roadside, some got married, others are just smoking at the roadside, others change to do other activities like crime. So that is what is happening in their life, and it only calls for you to be resilient. Yeah, yeah, that's what I can say.
Mm, thank you very
Yes.
much for sharing, Petch. And now you've spoken about resilience now. Um, so a lot of your work actually focuses a lot on your mindset and being able to have hope, even in challenging situations. So why do you think for young people, especially for young people from displaced backgrounds, it's very important to stay resilient and to have a community to rely on? What would you say some of the importance of that is?
Yeah, yeah, me, I believe so much that I know it's not me alone. Most of the people believe everything starts with mind. That's why most of my initiative try to empower people on how they can be strong, they can have that mindset. Because everything starts with mindset. Before you transform, when your mind is not changed, it's very hard for you to you may be thinking big, okay? You have that you want that big thing to happen fast, but when your mind is changed, you'll understand. You need to start with what you have from where you are, because the truth about life, success can be anywhere. Even Rhino Camp people can succeed. It doesn't need you to go to maybe in Kampala, to go to Nairobi, or to travel to and whatever place or USA for you to succeed. But it is your mindset, how you can set it. Then when you change your mind, you will be in a position to start. You see, you need to start. When after you change your mind, you start with what you have. So that's why I believe so much in mindset change, shift, so that the youth can know that the challenges that happen in the community, they are part of those challenges, and they need to also contribute to how those challenges can be. Let's say if there's conflict, for example, when I was in camp, there are a lot of I play people, and and most of the time you'll see young people, they fight in the playing ground. After just when you're given a goal, you say, why are you giving a goal? So you will want to beat people. So I've been seeing young people that fight just about when they score a goal to you, which is really something very normal. And it is because of, or maybe where they comes from. Yeah, maybe they see like a defeat. You feel like when you're given a goal, it is kind of it is like you're just you see like maybe you are young. I don't know how do I describe it. Man. So they have that feeling. That's why you see some of the men are fighting. If you have to check around, you'll see there are a lot of fights, and that's why I see this thing need these young people to be trained on how they can change their minds. They should take certain things positive, really. They should take most of the thing like positive, like even maybe if you're kicking the playing ground, should not take it like something that is that the other person is trying to maybe undermine. No, you take it if it's a game. So and that's how it is supposed to be. Yeah. So that's how most of my initiative try to focus on empowerment. Yes.
Mm. Thank you very much for sharing, Pet. And now I would like to really know, I know you currently co-found Open Cycle Africa and you're also the founder of Reach. I know it's boldly written on your screen. Would you like to talk more on what exactly these initiatives are about, what they consist of, how they're able to help young people, and why you decided to start them?
Yeah. Thank you. Uh, when I finished my high school in 2019, that when I started my first time to volunteer for NGO. I volunteer for VSO International. I don't know if you might have come across it one. So that NGO, they try to work on sexual trafficking against and right. Then I was able to to volunteer with them on sexual trafficking, and I was really very excited because it was my first time putting on a jacket. That jacket, you feel big. When I go home, I just feel like I'm big, because yeah. So then I from there I see it also each and every time they could bring for us youth for us to counsel, and I was training myself now that can be doing counseling. Each and every time we are trained by those mentors, so now we can counsel the youth in the community. Then from there I really said, Chimina, I really need to do something. By then it was 2020, COVID, it was COVID time. We were doing that work during COVID time. Yeah. So then after that, the project got done and those guys went back to Germany. Yeah, I don't Germany nowhere, somewhere. So then from there, we remain like that. Now, after they give us the knowledge, then they went back. So that when I said, you guys, why can't we really start something related to sexual trafficking, like what we have been doing? So that's why we came up with our past initiative called YAPOT, Youth Action for Comment Transformation. It was in 20, that when I came up with it, YAPOT, and it's currently a national NGO in Uganda. We have a couple of activities here. So then that's how I started with the YAPOT. And after some time, it was in 2023, because YAPOT mostly we focus on peace building and sexual reproductive health and right. But we also decided I also compounded Open Cycle with others to focus on farming. Okay, so that because we see these areas are not farming is important because we get food. Yeah, so that's why we came up with Open Cycle 2023 to also focus on farming with other youth also, because it is also another way of empowering youth. Then from there I got from 2020 up to 2023 we have been implementing program on peace building, programs on health education, program on most program on community, most peace things funded by different partners like Oxfam, NOSCO, Relon, Uganda. So all those partners try to partner with YAPOT with our past initiative. Then that's when I came. Then in 2023, we came up with Open Cycle, was to focus on farming, and we are able to also bring farmers together, women, especially women, we teach them on how they can do saving, on how they can also know when they get little money, how they can save it, because so financial literacy, we try to teach those things. Yeah. Then from there, 2020, I got scholarship with MasterCard because I've been at home all these years. If you have to calculate from 2019 up to 2023, then I got a scholarship when I applied. I have that CV in working in the community for long. Then I got MasterCard scholarship to come to Nairobi. Then in Nairobi also, I'm now a MasterCard scholar. We have a lot of programs that are given to us by the program by MasterCard Foundation on entrepreneurship, on leadership, different kind of trainings that are done to the scholars to change them. That's why then there's when we are I've been at participating in some of these trainings, and in this training mostly, there's that kind of pitching. You pitch at the end of the day, and you'll be told to come up with new ideas. That's why I came up with I look back at my community. I saw there's also a challenge in employment. That's why we came up with Open Cycle, and I was able to get grants even now 2 times. So and through competition, I also go through. That's how I came up with all this initiative. I hope I'm clear. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Pet. I really am inspired by your story and all the amazing work that you're doing. And now I know that volunteering is actually a huge part of your life. I mean, even with all the programs and all the initiatives that you have, you also still try to make time to volunteer for other organizations. I mean, that was how we first of all met each other. Why do you think that volunteering is important? And for young people, why do you think that young people should try to volunteer at least once in their life?
Thank you. That is a very powerful question. My life, you have to see, I've been just volunteering throughout. I remember in 2020, after PSO International has gone back with their project, by then we are working under health center before we came up with the Yapon. So when they left, so we are about 4. Then 4 of us could also leave the health center and go home, I think. And we see, so the health center requests us to continue volunteering because now they don't have the budget they don't have the program. So workload is going to be much on them, all the workers, and those health workers were very few. Then from there, we resumed with the volunteering. And if you have to see from 2020 up to today, I volunteer on so many initiatives. I volunteer with the College Guide Africa. I volunteer with Resilient. I volunteer with so many NGOs. I think more than 10 that I volunteered with it. And what I learned, but life is about you volunteer. Like through volunteering, I discover myself. Okay,
Mm,
I'm able to discover myself. I build confidence. I also meet new people. I also discover new opportunities. Thing
mm,
like let me say I when I volunteer with College Guide, I also had some opportunities. So that's why I like volunteering. I know volunteering. I make friends. Okay, through volunteering, I volunteer with people in. Let's say I volunteer with others in Indian. I volunteer with different friends, and I was able to make a lot of friends and others. I was also get opportunities. Like today, I'm speaking this podcast is because I
mm,
volunteer with College Guide Africa. If not, I was not going to get it. I think so. That's why I like volunteering because I know I get those it open for more opportunities.
mm.
Meet new friends, like-minded friends. Yeah, that's why. And also I continue to discover myself. I build that resilience. Yeah, that's why I really continue to volunteer. I don't. Yeah, and that one, mostly young people outside there, you realize they have a lot of expectation. Yeah, even me before I started volunteering, I used to have a lot of expectation when doing a program. But that one thing is also killing youth outside. You'll see someone who will not volunteer because at the end of the day, will they pay for my time? Will
Mm.
they? What will I get at the end? So
Yeah.
they forget that you are building yourself. Okay. And me from that time I started looking at volunteering as opportunity for me to grow.
Mm.
That's how I'm today, and it is really helping me to grow. Yeah.
Thank you for
Yes.
sharing, Pech. I think something I really like about volunteering, because I also try to volunteer with a couple of organizations too. So when it comes to volunteering, I also look at, so for example, we both run organizations of our own. I think when you volunteer with other people, you can kind of see what you would like to do if you were to start up an organization of your own, or what you could improve on if you have an organization and you see, okay, I like something in this organization, let me add it to mine, or let me improve on something I didn't like, which is why I also think that volunteering is really important. So thank you very much for sharing. And now that leads me to my next question. I know that you're balancing school while doing all these amazing work you do. Um, what would you say are some of the strategies that you use to be able to balance everything? And how do you avoid getting burnt out from all the work you're currently doing?
Yeah. Thank you for that question. Yeah, I know someone even is not. This is not the first time they've asked me such question. I There are a lot of friends. My friends they ask me different question like that. They ask me, Pech, how do you balance your time, school, and also how do you balance work? And how do you also balance other things? So what I always tell people, in a day there are 24 hours, and if you have to if you subtract like 8 hours for sleeping, you remain with about 16. Then if you again subtract 8 hours for maybe classes and other work, you remain with like about 10. So what I do in my life daily, I try to program myself like each day. What should I do today? What should I do in my academy? What should I do in my personal? And what should I also do about my community? So I have that plan, that timetable, that calendar for my activities, because I know uh, I have that calendar for my activities. If I say from midnight, I'll have let's say for midnight, let me say from 11 maybe up to 2 a.m. I'll be writing something like this related to my project, or working on something on my project. So I'll wait for that time. When it comes, I'll go and do that work. So mostly I plan my time. I plan it very well. I make sure I don't waste my time on certain things that are really not important. Yeah, and if you had to see like most of the youth, you see young people outside, they try to. Okay, you'll see someone will tell them I'm busy. Okay, but then if you see what they're busy on, you'll really wonder. You may get them they're only watching football the whole day, or they're watching TV the whole day. So in that way, they will say that I'm very busy, so much busy. I see. So that's why sometimes we tend to waste a lot of time as we say that we are busy. So for me, what I do, I plan. I have timetable for each day. I know what today, like today is Thursday. What am I going to do today? And what do I have class or I don't have? I have those things. Then at what time will I be talking to my friends? Because I cannot be talking the whole day, or playing the whole day, or reading the whole day, or doing one thing the whole day. Yeah, that's how I balance my activities here.
Yeah, I think that for young people who are working on different initiatives, balancing time is definitely something that is very, very important. And I know that as a young person who starts an initiative or starts any project, sometimes there's this doubt that am I on the right track? Maybe you don't have all the resources you need. Maybe you would want to have more resources and you don't really know where they're going to come from. So when things like that happen for you, how are you able to really overcome or say, okay, I'm going to improvise to make sure that if I have a project and a deadline, I'm still going to make sure that even with little resources I have, I'm going to make the most to make sure that it's impactful towards other people.
Yeah, well, yes, sometimes, people experience those challenges. Those feelings are even there. But me, myself, I used to have those feelings. Uh, sometimes what I do, you know, before I did not learn something, let's say, when I need something, I wait for the perfect time when I can do it. But I realized after some years that when I need something, I need to start small. Even though I don't know it, I need to just start small. Let's say how we came up with the all this initiative. We started without even knowing. Let me say, in 2020, when we started the airport, we even don't know how to develop any profile for organization. We don't know what it is, even vision, how it should look. We don't know. If I'm to show for you our first vision and mission, you'll even laugh. Okay, they really don't. They just mix up and they don't. So that's how we didn't. We just say that let's start something like let's assume it's correct. Okay. So what I do is I start small. I start small with what I have. So that's how we started. And as time goes by, you learn new things. You'll also begin to improve certain things. That's how you'll even end up growing. So that's what I always recommend to people, to young people. I tell them, let them not wait for the perfect time, for the best time for them to have all those conditions. And that time will never come. Yeah. So that is the truth about life. You just start small. As time goes by, you learn other things. You continue to learn. Even let's say if you start your idea today, let's just maybe you say that I just want to have a voice, let me say a voice recorder for the community I sing. So as time goes by, you'll come and realize you need to have this and need to remove this. You continue as long as you remain committed, you'll see changes will continue to happen. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
how I can say.
Thank you so much, Petch. I completely agree with the message starting small. You're never going to have everything all figured out. So it's always better to start with the little you have, and then you could even begin to build a community. Would you like to talk about how you have been able to have a community of people working with you? How exactly have people found you to join your project and your initiatives? How do they find you to be able to work with you?
Yeah, in every community, there are always people that want to be part of something, but don't let because of fear. People have that fear of starting. So sometimes when you start something, people will come up. I remember when we started Yakot, we were three. When we talk about the initiative, we are only three. But after some time, people will started us telling us, "Hey, can we join, guys? Can we join?" They started joining us. See, so in every community, there are always people that are there that they wanted to join something, but don't let because of that fear of starting. That fear of starting is almost in everybody. So that's why when you start up, you'll see people will come up. You'll even get people who are open-minded like you. People will accept to collaborate with you. Like in all these initiatives, when I started them, or when we started, people are not there. But as time goes by, people are many. Let me say for rich, people are not there in the start. People right now are there, even I. So many. See, so everything is about you start. Others resources will find you on the way. As long as you remain committed, you also know how to work with people. Okay? Because sometimes you also need to know how to work with people. Like, yeah, when you work with people, they'll be your friends. They'll even connect to now. You don't know sometimes there are people who are quiet they also have opportunities, but you don't know because opportunities cannot appear at your forehead. It's only them that knows. That's why when you are also friendly with people, you begin to get new things. They also give you new ideas. They begin to also challenge you. See, then you accept. You see those challenges, positive things. Yeah, yeah. That's how I can respond to that.
Yeah, thank you, Pet. And you've mentioned now about speaking working with people and collaborating with people. How are you able to work with people from different backgrounds and nationalities? Because, for example, I'm Nigerian, you're from South Sudan, and I know that you probably have a team of people who are from different countries, and in your time with volunteering, you would have worked with people from different countries and communities. So, how are you able to balance different cultures and communities to be able to understand leadership when working with other young people?
Well, you need to, as a leader, you need to understand people. You need to understand cultures. You need to understand different ways people do their things. Okay. Uh, let me say those who are religious, let's say, for example, Muslim, I think. So Muslim, they have that culture of not greeting people, I think. So they don't greet, let's say the lady cannot greet a man that is not a brother. So in that scenario, you cannot force a lady to greet you, I think. So you need to understand cultures and you need to see how both of you can come into a point because there's always that point where people meet. Okay. So that's how you get to understand. I get to understand myself, people. I know when I'm working with different cultures, different people from Congo, different people from South Sudan or Uganda or Kenya. So you'll see, even I have people working for me from, like for my NGO, there are people volunteering for me from Indonesia and Indian. I see. So I understand how I can work with these people. I know these people have different cultures, but now I understand. I have that common ground. But now I can understand their needs, and now I can also tell them. I'll tell them this is what can work and this is what cannot work. Then they see. Yeah. So that's how I work with people.
Thank you so much, Petch. I completely agree with you. And now my next question is on advice. So for young people who maybe are lost, especially young people from underserved communities and from displaced communities, who maybe don't even know what hope they could have or what things they could do in their communities. What advice would you give to them to be able to also make meaningful change like the way you are doing? And how can young people make sure that they're making their time meaningful?
Yeah. There are a lot of in community you see there are a lot of challenges that exist. You'll get the people who are lost, who don't know. But what I always tell people is to have that hope. Hope is a form of power. Like
Mm,
without the opportunity, you need to have that hope because
mm,
sometimes when you lost that hope, you realize even the little opportunities that exist in your area will not even appear. Okay, so what I always tell people, let them have that hope. Even me, what keep on pushing me was hope. I just hope one day I'll have this, one day I'll get this, one day I'll get this. And all those things happen.
yeah.
Okay? Because I have the hope, then I will continue to put in the effort. I continue to try small every day. I make sure each day I put something toward what I want. So that's what I can tell young people. Let them have that hope because hope is power.
Mm,
Okay? So that they can see those little opportunities that exist in their surrounding. Because sometimes at least there's an opportunity that exists in your surrounding. Let's say even though you're in remote, even though you're in village, deep village, you still have opportunities in your surrounding. But when you don't have that hope, so it will be like your eyes are blinded, you not see what happens around you. So that's what I always tell people. Let them continue to have hope. Let them continue to also put in the effort for
mm.
them to get that whatever they want. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I really resonate with that. Hope and efforts is very important. So having hope that you can actually do something and then making sure that you're taking the actionable steps towards that thing. I really resonate with that too. Thank you very, very much, Petch. And now, would you like to tell us? So two things. what's next for you personally with all the current things that you're doing, and what's next for your initiatives? So, what could we expect to see next? What programs are you planning for Reach? What programs are you planning for Open Cycle Africa? And what's next for you personally?
Yeah, what is next? I wanted to. My goal is to empower these young people, starting from where I come from, Rhino Camp. So I want them to be part of this transformation because, like, we all of my program, if you have to see, they all focus on youth empower, women empowerment. See, I want them to be empowered so that in the next 5 years we can have, let's say, development. When you are changed, you see, you'll evolve. I think it means in next 5 years we can see a peaceful, inclusive society for everyone, where at least people know what they want and how they can get whatever they want. See, so that's what I'm trying to do. And the country app program that I try to run, because just 3 weeks ago, I got grants also for my initiative Reach from DW Academia. So that grant was to train youth on digital skilling, refugee youth on digital skilling, article writings, and advocacy. So I want to give those tips how now they can also advocate for their rights, advocate for what could be good for them and others that are around them, and also how they can also know how to write. You see, yeah. So that is the initiative that is currently coming. Then with the Yapot Uganda, currently we have just ended one of our program on sexual reproductive care and right, where we work with the youth, with young mothers. Yeah, we're still hoping for another one. That was a project, but it has ended. Yeah. Then with the open cycle, we ship on. Yeah, we're trying to passive building to to women startups and those youth with ideas. We did it was it in early around June. That's what we did here. So but currently we don't have a running project. We're still getting also more. Yeah.
Thank you very much,
Yeah,
Pet.
that's where I can start. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that the work you're doing is really inspiring, and I'm so proud of you and your story and all the amazing things that you're doing. And as a point of final words, what what would you hope to see within the next 5 years in terms of change in your community? What change would you love to see within the next 5 years from now?
So like in the next 5 years, I envision a generation of refugee youth and hosts who lead their own development. That's what I envision to see. I wanted to see more people launching their initiatives. I wanted to see women taking charge of the challenges that happen in their surroundings. I also wanted to see people know what they want and how they can get whatever thing they want. See? So those are the things that I wanted to see in my society and wherever place my initiatives runs.
Oh, thank you very much, Petch. And do you have any final words for our listeners? Anyone who may be listening who was also inspired by your story, what final words would you have to say to them just to motivate them?
Yeah, thank you. First of all, I thank College Guide Africa for this wonderful program, for inviting me today. I know it has been, I could say that I really thank you for also for giving this opportunity. Then to our listeners, I could say it ever let's uh, let's continue with the struggle. And sometimes you might be going through a lot. You may think you're the only one with this, but you come and realize when you go somewhere, you realize that there's someone that you are better than. I see. So sometimes you may think, let's say if let's say when I was when I did not go to school, I was thinking maybe things are real hard. But when I came, I realized I also got I'm also somehow better. So the thing, let's continue to have that hope. Let's not, if one change, let's continue to have that hope, and we'll continue to put in the effort. And that's how we can continue to change our countries, our regions, and our continent. Because through the efforts that we put each day, we shall go far. And in conclusion, let's start small with what we have from
Mm.
where we are. We should not wait for those big things. Let's just start small. If it is today, if you're planning to launch something, start it today. If you're planning to anything that you wanted to do positive for your community, you do it today and start small. And don't give up. As time goes by, you learn new things. You also discover a lot of things, and you continue to grow. Yeah, that's what I could just say. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much, Pech. And how can people find you? Where can people find you to connect with you and your initiatives? So where can they find Pech Lim?
Yeah, thank you so much. Uh, you can find me on Facebook with my name, Pech Lim Gatluak. But in other platform, I used to have them, but they had some issues and they were blocked out. Yeah, you can find me on Facebook. You can also get me my Facebook page for the NGO. All the pages are on the Facebook and LinkedIn.
Mm.
Yeah, you can also get on Instagram. My organization page are all there, but you'll not get me there. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, Petch.
Yes.
We will link below all Petch's pages so you can connect with him if you've been inspired by his story. I personally have been really inspired, and I'd like to thank you so much for joining me for today's episode. Please make sure you like, make sure you share. If you'd like to support Petch, please make sure you do so. We'll be linking how you could communicate with him so you can also reach out to him. And on that note, my name is Feolami and Joseph. It's been lovely having you all listening to today's show, and I will see you all in the next episode. Goodbye.
Yeah. Bye.